Hi everyone! Today's joke of the day is, what do you call a fake noodle? Stay tuned for the answer. Our learning target today is, I can use the distributive property when necessary in solving equations. Okay, so if I'm looking at this first example here, I have 5 times the quantity negative 4x plus 10 is equal to 270. Okay, because this 5 is being multiplied by negative 4x plus 10 in parentheses, I want you to distribute the 5 to both of those terms. Okay, so I'm going to draw my little arrows in so that I know what I'm distributing. So I'll take 5 times a negative 4x, that gives me negative 20x, and then I add 5 times 10, which is 50. Okay, and we know that that is equal to 270. Now at this point, I can draw in my railroad tracks and just solve the equation like I would with any other equation. Okay, so I will subtract 50 on both sides. That will be my first step. And that I will bring down my negative 20x. That positive 50 minus 50 cancels out. So that is equal to 270 minus 50 gives me 220. And now my next step is to undo that multiplication. So I'm taking negative 20 times x. So I want to divide by negative 20 because division is the inverse of multiplication. And then I will end up with x is equal to, so those cancel out there, x is equal to negative 11. Okay? And then we can always check our answer to make sure that it's correct by substituting that back into the original equation. Okay, let's look at our next example then. Here I have 4 times 2x minus 7 is equal to 20. I will do the same thing. I will distribute that 4 to my 2x and my negative 7. So I'll take 4 times 2x, that gives me 8x. And then 4 times a negative 7 gives me negative 28. So I'm subtracting 28, and then that is going to be equal to 20. Okay, now I can draw in my railroad tracks and solve it just like I would any other equation. So I'll start by adding 28 to both sides. To undo subtraction, we add. Okay, and then those cancel out, so we end up with 8x is equal to 20 plus 28 gives me 48. Okay, and then I have 8 times x, so to get rid of that 8 times x, we'll divide by 8 on both sides. 8 divided by 8 gives me 1, so I end up with x is equal to 48 divided by 8, which is 6. Okay. Now for this one, we have 7 times the quantity 4 plus 6x, so we will distribute that 7 to both terms. We get 7 times 4 is 28, plus 7 times 6x. Well, 7 times 6 is 42, and then we just keep the x there. And then that is equal to 154. Okay, and now we can solve by drawing in our railroad tracks. And now we can solve. We have this 28. Okay, to get rid of a positive 28, we would subtract by 28 on both sides. Okay, so 28 minus 28, that gives us 0. So we're just left with 42x on the left side is equal to 154 minus 28. That gives us 126. You can check that in your calculator. And then we have 42 times x, so we want to divide by 42 on both sides to undo that multiplication. So we get x is equal to 126 divided by 42 gives me 3. So x is equal to 3 in this case. All right, let's look at a couple more. So in this one, we have 6 times 9 minus 6x. So we'll distribute our 6 to both terms there. So we have 6 times 9 is 54, minus 6 times 6, which is 36x, is equal to 18. Okay, and we can draw on our railroad tracks here. Our first step to solve here is going to be to subtract 54 on both sides because we want to undo this positive 54 there. Okay, so that gives me 0, and we're left with negative 36x. Don't forget to bring down that negative. Negative 36x on the left side, and 18 minus 54 gives us negative 36. Okay, to get rid of that negative 36x, or that's next to the x that we're multiplying by x, right? We divide by negative 36 on both sides, and then we end up with x is equal to negative 36 divided by negative 36 Any number divided by itself is equal to 1. So we have x equals 1 for this case. All right, so joke of the day, what do you call a fake noodle? An impasta. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.